What you're looking at here is some rudimentary dwellings that were photographed by Smithsonian photographer John Hiller during the John Wesley Powell expeditions out west. This was in the area of Nevada. And as you can see, when I say rudimentary, I mean really rudimentary. There's little or no protection from the elements here. One reason why I'm bringing that to your attention is that, you know, in the pursuit of the Sasquatch solution, many of the Indian tribes, the Native Americans, told me that kidnapping of women was a consistent and common problem in days of yore. Kidnapping of Native American women by Sasquatch, and resulting in pregnancies and all sorts of illicit things. Okay, well, assuming that that's true, I don't think that this type of shelter would provide much protection from anything like that. And if this was a predominant type of situation back in those days, and that was indeed occurring as they said it was, then it should be evident in some of the old photos of the area when people first came into that area with photographic equipment. John Hiller was not a photographer originally. He was hired to be a boatman on the Powell expedition, and he ended up learning the photography part of it, and he took over as the official photographer. And it takes a lot of guts sometimes for a person to photograph something that he doesn't understand, or that may not be very well understood once people see it. But the job of the photographer is to document, and John Hiller did that very well. Let's just take a look at these folks right here. This is some people that John Hiller photographed, and this really didn't make it into publication until the 1960s, although it was taken in the late 1800s. And there was some strangeness to these people. And I'll show you. Let's just take a look. I'll see if I can just zoom in. Look at this right here. This guy right here has hair all over his chest. He doesn't have, this guy has black hair. This guy does not have black hair. Let me see. I can kind of raise it up there a little bit. So he has, although it's a black and white photograph, it's something of a lighter tone, maybe perhaps reddish blonde, something like that. Okay, now let's just transfer from this guy over to this guy. And let's just kind of go down a little bit. Well, it's kind of blurring out on me there. Look at his leg. His leg is covered in hair from the thigh down. Both legs. Let's just kind of move in on that a little bit. Let me see if I can get this, just blow it up this way. You know, what exactly are we seeing there? What is it that we're seeing? Because these are very unusual people. This should not be. Not according to ethnologists. Native Americans should not have hairy legs or hairy chests. And according to the book Stone Age in the Great Basin, the Powell expedition ran into quite a bit of that. Now let me just let me go to another photo. Let's see here. Look at these guys. Take a look at the full beards and the dreadlocks. Now, you got to understand that John Wesley Powell was going into an area that had not been explored. And this was in the area of Nevada. And these were certainly some strange people to encounter. You see some things that you recognize. You recognize that they had compound arrows. This right here. There's no tips on these arrows, so they have a little short shaft that they would stick in there with a tip already on it. That was common. Okay, then you got, you know, the headdress. I don't know what's up with this guy right here, why his head is so tall, except that it may be perhaps be the cranium may be shaped. I can't imagine the hair bunching up that high. But certainly a strange person to encounter, and hard to explain ethnologically. And if you look carefully, he's wearing like a little vest of leather, although the contrast is low in the photo. And his legs are wrapped. His legs, ankles, and feet are wrapped. You probably see him right there. He's got what they call a recurve bow, which is unusual. They don't usually have recurve. Recurve is Asian in origin, and Mongolian in particular. And this guy's got one though. There it is, recurve right there. You know, so you know, there's some real oddness and strangeness out west, and we don't understand it, but we might understand it in the context or in the light of something that's hairy like a Sasquatch, if they were able to get their genes mixed in over time. If they did indeed kidnap women from places like this right here, let me back off. Because that's no shelter at all. Not for a woman. You could pull a woman right through that thing, right through the wall. So, maybe that explains why these guys have hairy legs and hairy chests. And less than black hair, or whatever color that hair turned out to be. If you're familiar with some of the legends of that area, of a tribe of red-haired giants that were warred with by the Paiutes and eventually exterminated, maybe that might be explains something. You know, maybe an explanation there. So, you know, I just kind of it's interesting, very interesting. Another thing that I noticed with this particular individuals in this photo by John Hiller is look at the size of their fingers compared to the size of the palm of their hand. Let me just kind of enlarge it. And I'll just kind of zoom in on it. Now, this is what I'm referring to right here. The unusual length of the fingers compared to the palm of the hand. And why I'm making an issue of that is because in that area there is some evidence for an unusual group of people This is found in a cave in Utah, and you can see this is a normal handprint, and then you have these abnormal ones. You see, they were done at a different time. Let me see how well that shows. See the normal print, then you see the unusual hand, finger to palm ratio. And legend has it that whenever Indians, Native Americans, would encounter each other on the trail, they raised the palm of the hand to demonstrate the length of their fingers. And that was sort of a way of letting someone know who you were ethnologically. Now, does that mean that the people who have this type of hand with the long fingers are part Sasquatch? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that if Sasquatch did, or were to, or did kidnap women, then it should show in the gene pool. And perhaps it does. Perhaps we just did not know what we were looking at. There you have your long fingers. Let me see if I can just kind of zoom in on that some more. Okay. And then you have similar fingers on a wall in Utah. I thank you for your time.